welcome you to Los Angeles today. It's week 17, and we've got action from the AFC West. Wildcard hopefuls, the Denver Broncos, and the LA Chargers from spectacular SoFi Stadium. And here in the broadcast booth, Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn down on the sidelines. The happiest of New Year's to you. They've been the epitome of an up-and-down team throughout the season, but here the Chargers stand, an opportunity to make a playoff run. Everything that they needed to happen today has happened. So Justin Herbert and company, they're very much in the mix, fighting for their playoff lives.
Obviously now it's their turn to take care of business. Last week they didn't against Houston, but when Justin Herbert is throwing the football, good things tend to happen. His results often breathtaking the way he throws a football.
And Charles, are getting impact players back from the COVID list and from injury a week ago. Still out, though, for LA without the services of Jared Cook and Kenneth Murray Jr. this afternoon. Meanwhile, for Denver, Teddy Bridgewater still out, concussion protocol, so Drew Lock makes his second consecutive start. The Broncos under 500. Things have not gone according to plan the last several weeks.
Not at all, but Drew Lock's getting his chance to show he is their quarterback of the future. He must take care of the football when opportunity presents, deliver downfield.
And Charles, a lot of big names out today for Denver. Both sides of the ball, in particular on offense. No Jerry Jeudy today for Drew Lock, so others will need to step forward at that wide receiver position. Coming up, it's the opening kick from Inglewood, California. The Broncos and the Chargers. We've got it for you next on CBS. Moments away from the opening kick here in Southern California. Right now, let's check in downstairs with Evan Washburn.
Well, and the Chargers admitted to lacking an edge and an intensity in last week's loss to the Texans. Well, today they get back arguably a player that embodies those characteristics more than anyone on the roster in safety, Derwin James, who's missed much of the last 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. We spoke to him about the mentality required in this game. He said you have to want it more than you want to breathe. It's not about scheme. It's about beating the man in front of you and taking this game. Guys, that's the edge this team needs. Kind of had me fired up on our call.
No doubt about it. Derwin James out last week, hamstring issues, but not only getting back James, getting back Eckler, Williams, Lindsley, Bosa. This is an LA team that is stacked with talent. Denver won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Brandon McManus will kick it off. We're underway from SoFi. Andre Roberts, return man, he's going to take it out 2 yards deep in the end zone. Roberts running lane. Roberts has got speed to the outside. Outstanding return to open things up. Chased out by McManus on a lean towards the sideline. 47-yard return for the Pro Bowler Andre Roberts. Justin Herbert. The numbers are prodigious. In fact, he has a chance to make Chargers history today with a couple of touchdown passes. It'll be a new single-season franchise record.
And I think it's a record that he'll set and have a chance to break every year he's a quarterback. But today, deliver to these receivers downfield, and when openings occur, use his legs as well.
On a handoff for Eckler, working inside for a gain of 4. Shelby Harris combining with Jonas Griffith to bring him down. Los Angeles is whole up front. Did not have Corey Lindsley last week. That was a big hit. Pro Bowler this year. Lindsley, a leader, an emotional leader as well, 8-year veteran. We mentioned the return of Mike Williams and Austin Eckler as well.
We're good.
Second down and 6. Eckler will shift to the other side. Shotgun for Herbert. Handoff. Eckler. Nice cut. Hard to bring down. And he leans forward for a couple extras. Surtain grazed him, and he's got enough for the first down. Defensively for Denver, Charles, this is where it gets really interesting. This is a group that was already banged up throughout the season. They are missing so many players defensively because of COVID and injuries.
A lot of mixing and matching, especially at the linebacker position. Coming into the game, they have had 8 different inside linebackers, 7 different outside. That number goes up today.
And Ronald Darby today as well, out with a shoulder injury. Herbert's got time. Herbert tosses. Flag down. Over the head of the intended receiver. Kyle Fuller over there defensively against Guyton. Fuller getting the start for the injured Darby.
Defense, number 23. The ball we place in the spot on the foul, automatic. First down.
It's the veteran referee, Craig Rolstad, relaying the information, and this was a no-brainer.
And Justin Herbert saw that on the outside. So it wasn't just that he was anticipating his receiver downfield and he was throwing to a spot. He saw the contact and threw to make sure that the official made sure saw the contact as well, so that a flag would be drawn. Nice anticipation there and look by Justin Herbert.
Vic Fangio's asking a lot of this defense to come through against this dynamic LA offense. Jackson has nowhere to go. He tried to turn the corner on Fuller. When we asked Fangio about how do you handle it with all these changes, with all these backups, he said our motto is stay frosty.
Love that.
So everybody's got to be ready. Starters, backups, practice squad guys. Anyone could play at any moment.
And he also said it is up to his coaching staff to understand who's on the field at any particular time. What can they do? What can they not do? And put them in the right situation.
Don't expect them to do something they haven't been taught. Dart underneath. Keenan Allen having a big season statistically. He has a chance to break his own record, which is the Chargers' single season record for receptions in a season. He's got 10 yards on that catch.
This feels like early in this ball game, Joe Lombardi, the play caller, is just identifying his best guys as Herbert sneaks it and make sure that they get the football early and get them involved.
And it is a first down. Herbert, big frame, 6'6", 236. First-year head coach Brandon Staley goes back with Vic Fangio, worked under him, learned a great deal from him. And there's a deep connection between the two. Asked Staley about Fangio, and he has a lot to say. We're going to get to it over the course of the broadcast. The interview process, just to get the job. Handoff. Eckler inside the 5. Austin Eckler got a key block from Filer and Guyton for 14.
How about big with number 71, Matt Filer, the left guard. Watch him pulling around and leading on this. Excellent job.
Quick snap. Handoff. Eckler takes it in. Touchdown. Strong opening statement for the Chargers. They mean business. 7 plays, 6 of them on the ground.
Trey Pipkins, number 79, starting at right tackle for Storm Norton, who's been out all week in COVID protocol. Does a good job crashing things down inside, as did Michael Schofield, number 72. As we talked about starting this game, it feels to me like Joe Lombardi, as a play caller, said, my best players need to touch it early and often, and they did on that drive and carried them downfield.
The snapper Overton was on the COVID list earlier this week, as was the kicker Hopkins, both in there. They were cleared for this game, and they convert on the extra point. Remember the return by Roberts, setting things up for Los Angeles, and then Austin Eckler did major damage on that opening drive. 7-0 lead. Seven plays, 55 yards, a lot of it. Eckler, 4 carries for 30 yards, including the touchdown. Austin Eckler now 11 rushing touchdowns on the season. He's got 7 on the receiving side. So a touchdown maker this year for Los Angeles. Hopkins will kick it off. Mike Boone is the deep man for Denver, standing at the goal line. Chargers coming off that shocking loss in Houston, 41-29. They allowed 24 points in the 4th quarter. And this one coming out to the 25-yard line. So let's get you caught up to date here. This is very much an ever-changing situation. Tennessee has now grabbed the top seed with the Kansas City loss to Cincinnati. Bengals have claimed the AFC North. New England, important win. Las Vegas jumps into the wild card picture with the victory. Indianapolis 9-7. The Chargers can get themselves into that portion with a victory here.
Because of their head-to-head with Las Vegas so far? Wow.
And who plays whom next week?
Oh, that'd be Las Vegas and Los Angeles Chargers.
Exactly. Drew Lock's got time. Tosses to the outside. It's caught by Kendall Hinton. So without Jerry Jeudy, without Tim Patrick, more opportunity here for Hinton and Drew Lock. The one thing that he talked about throughout the week and in our conversation with him as well, yes, being a backup this year gave him a different perspective, but it also reminded him of what he wants to be in this league, and that's the guy, the starter.
Yeah, how did he say it? That was a great statement.
I want to be the guy for the other guys.
How great was that? He made no bones about it. He doesn't want to be a backup. And if that's the case, this game and next game are his audition to be their starter for next year.
First down, running play. The former Charger, Melvin Gordon, runs into a crowd and held to a 3-yard pickup going up the gut. Offensively for Denver, Bobby Massey normally would be on that right side of the line, but Massey in health and safety protocols, so the veteran Cam Fleming is in there in his place. We know about the two-headed rushing attack of Gordon and Javonte Williams, something they could not get going against Las Vegas last week. 17-13 loss to the Raiders. They had a season-low 158 yards of offense. Fake the handoff. Lock steps up. Checks it down to Gordon. And he is nudged out of bounds for no gain on the play. Maybe a half yard. They're going to spot it at the 41-yard line. Defensively for Los Angeles, they come in ranked 22nd in team defense. The concern has been the scoring defense. The only team to give up more points than the Chargers this season, the New York Jets. They're allowing 27.4 per game. Nick Neiman getting a chance today. The injury to Drew Tranquil. Asante Samuel, the talented rookie. Chris Harris was cleared from health and safety protocols. 3rd down and 7. 4-receiver set. Lock, rush coming. Steps up. Lock gonna try to run. Little shake and bake. Comes up short. Drew Lock, big guy, 6'4", 228. Could not get to the line to gain. Picks up 6. Looks like the offense is staying on the field.
He did give that shake and bake as you talked about. Look who came back from rushing the passer to get downfield and knock him down short of the first down line. That was Joey Bosa, number 97. Normally rushing the passer up near the line of scrimmage, gets into the secondary and helps tackle him. And now Denver, here early in this game, their offense is still on the field.
Dalton Reisner was shaken up on the play, so the athletic training staff is out to check on him. Netani Muti would check in to replace him.
Netani Muti has also become a fullback for them in short yardage situations. So if Reisner goes out, Muti now goes to guard. That may take that type of a play off the board if Denver indeed does decide to go for it, which their offense is suggesting they will.
Yeah, it gave them time to ponder it, and they were pretty strong in their belief that they're going to go for it here at the 49-yard line. They bring 3 tight ends into this formation. This is a long one.
I was just thinking exactly that. Let's see if they go hard count. They're doing it.
Going for it. Gordon's got enough for the first down. Well, the Broncos are undermanned. They're playing with a lot of practice squatters, mostly on the defensive side. They're closer to hole on the offensive side, and they know they've got the Haas in Gordon and Williams if they need them.
Yeah, and they went to the right side that time with Quinn Miners, their rookie offensive lineman out of Wisconsin Whitewater, nicknamed the Belly. Running in short yardage, mauling people, that's his specialty. He gets it done there, helps him get a first down.
Okwebunam was shaken up on that play, went to the sideline for Denver. Play fake. Lock, looking long. Floats it outside, incomplete. Unfortunate, wasn't picked off by Derwin James. He tried the over-the-shoulder grab. Cortland Sutton was the intended target on the play for Denver.
This was played so well by Derwin James. He looks like the intended receiver, doesn't he? Because he anticipated it, read it so well, and got to the spot. Now he's thinking about getting his feet down, trying to tap him like a wide receiver. But you got to catch the ball first before that matters. Good job by Derwin James being on the spot.
Reisner being escorted along the sideline for Denver. This is a 2nd and 10. Lock sends Williams in motion. On the running play, Melvin Gordon spun down by Covington. 7-yard pickup. When we talked to Derwin James this week, he said Defensively, they have to set the tone today, set the energy level with that first tackle, that first sack, that first interception. He felt from the sidelines watching, they just never got settled last week. They need to make Denver feel uncomfortable.
Well, they had an opportunity on the first fourth down when Denver went for it here early, didn't get it done there. Denver comes right back with another nice run again to the right side of their offensive line. That seems to be the side that is working well for them here early.
Javonte Williams, the ultra-talented rookie out of North Carolina, is in. He gets the call. Trying to bounce it outside. He's smothered. Covington leading the charge. Put Kaiser White in there as well for Los Angeles. White's having a big season. Most tackles for a Charger since Donnie Edwards in 06.
And see Garrett Bowles pulling, but what an excellent job being met right there at the point of attack, which allowed everyone else to get involved with the tackle there. Stepping up into the hole, stunning the offensive tackle and creating a pile that allowed the rest of the guys in the powder blue to make a nice play.
I think we're getting a feel for Vic Fangio's philosophy today. They're going for it again.
Yeah. He wrote that on his board. He's being true to it. Nothing to lose today.
It is 4th and 6. Locke sacked at the 45. He waited just a little too long, and Jerry Tillery makes him pay. The Chargers take over. Los Angeles opens the game with a touchdown on offense, and they get it done on defense on 4th down, a loss of 10. Happy New Year from our crew to your crew. Our crew really likes the camera, I noticed.
Yeah, but we're lucky, huh? No better crew out there, really. No better people, even more importantly.
Chargers, play action. Herbert looked like he was going to gun it downfield. Instead, he floats it to the sideline over the head of the intended receiver, Mike Williams, incomplete. Pressure from Draymond Jones, who's had a terrific season for Denver.
Right at the end there's Draymond Jones, as you described, putting the pressure on Justin Herbert. That's another reason that Justin Herbert, that big arm, got him out of trouble there. If you don't have that kind of arm where you can throw it out of bounds and throw it away from pressure, otherwise that turns into a long loss, a big loss on a sack.
2nd and 10, get back to the ground game. Eckler, not much there. Trying to drive it forward. Gains 2. Justin Simmons slides in for the tackle for Denver.
Not much that you won't see Justin Simmons do for Denver, number 31 in white on the defensive side from the safety position. He is where the NFL game has moved. Hybrid players, what they call positionless players. Yeah, you line up in one, but they can play him at safety, they can play him in the slot, he can blitz, he's there in the line of scrimmage like a linebacker making tackles. He does it all.
They're down at 8. Let's see what LA can do with his field position. Herbert, incomplete. Patrick Surtain in coverage against Keenan Allen, and Surtain has a chance to be really special.
He certainly does, and he made an opportunity for the Chargers go by the Wade side. Doesn't buy the first fake by Keenan Allen, one of the craftier route runners in the league. Stays right on it, and then look at it. Gets that left arm in front to knock it away. Chargers start out with great field position after a 4th down stop. Denver snuffs out that drive. It's going to make them punt it away.
Chargers did not punt last week against Houston. They've got a punt here in the opening quarter with Ty Long. Trying to place this one, and he will, angled out of bounds. So Denver's going to get it back. No harm done after going for it on 4th down. It's going to be just short of the 20-yard line after the 25-yard kick. 7-0. Chargers lead it. 6:06 to play in the first.
There's a pigeon on the field.
He wanted to get down here. He couldn't get a seat. He tried to get up above, and there was no place. The only place there was only that he could land is right there. Johnson really has him beat, and there's a pigeon was right there where Johnson was running.
Now the NFL lost a legend this week. Hall of Fame coach, broadcaster, and icon John Madden died at the age of 85. Head coach of the Raiders, won a Super Bowl, never had a losing season, then moved to the broadcast booth for 30 years. Starting with CBS, he educated, entertained with his love, his knowledge, his enthusiasm for the game and its players. And Madden ensured his influence on generations of fans with the video game. Charles, you might be familiar with that, bearing his name. John Madden, beloved in the football community, made an indelible impact on the game. Who will be dearly missed. We send our deepest sympathies to his family in mourning his loss. Locke, a deep shot, and a flag thrown. Cortland Sutton in a matchup with Asante Samuel.
And we had 2 officials drop flags.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. The ball in place at the spot of the foul, automatic. First down.
So it is the rookie Samuel who gets charged with it.
And you see where Samuel's got it. He's totally into the body of Cortland Sutton. And then at the end, Cortland Sutton took things into his own hands. Watch Cortland Sutton at the end push him aside and go for the football. To me, this is one of those ones where both of them were fighting each other. If they picked up the flag and said no penalty, it makes sense to me by the way that they both were hand fighting. Samuel in early, Sutton second.
It's interesting. Craig Rolstad made the call very early.
Correction. There are 2 fouls on the play.
There you
One
go.
on each team. Pass interference, defense, number 26. Pass interference, offense, number 14. Those penalties offset. We will replay the down.
So you get a mulligan, other than Asante Samuel for about 20 seconds, feeling as if, wait a second, what's going on here?
What? But you saw how both of them were into each other's framework. See, Samuel's there, but watch Sutton with both hands, takes him, and then to that left hand on the helmet. And you see what happened was you had an official on the side who had one look at it, and then the back judge, Grantis Bell, had one from inside, and that's what the discussion was, and that's why you ended up with the offsetting.
6 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Line of scrimmage is the 19. Chargers scored on the opening possession to take a 7-0 lead. Javonte Williams in the backfield. Give it to him. Williams, stunner stick move. Spun down short of the 25 by Nwosu. All right, what's at stake here? Denver is just trying to remain in the hunt. They will be eliminated from the postseason with a loss here in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, number 7 seed in the AFC with a win. With a loss, they would still be mathematically in it, but it would be a huge hit. They needed the Rams to beat Baltimore. It happened. They needed Tennessee to beat Miami. It happened. It's now there for the taking for LA. 2nd and 5. 5 receivers set. Lock. Almost intercepted. And should have been picked on the play by James.
Receiver fell down on this one and made it wide open for Derwin James. He does a nice job reading. Now watch him break forward on the football, but the receiver's not there to make a play on it because he tripped and fell. And for the second time in this game, Derwin James has an opportunity for an interception, not able to come down with either one of them. But watching the inside, Kendall Hinton, number 9, the initial receiver, he falls down and opens it up for James. Evan Washburn talked to about his intensity and his leadership, talked about Derwin James. He would have liked to pick that one off and really show him some leadership.
Dime package here for LA. Slinging, incomplete. Looking for Hinton over the middle. Remember last year when COVID hit the Broncos, it affected Kendall Hinton. He played quarterback.
Yeah, and he'd been a quarterback at Wake Forest, but never a real starter at Wake Forest. No. He moved to wide receiver there, and all of a sudden he had to be the quarterback because COVID hit, and they went through 4 guys, and he became the guy. But nice play there by Asante Samuel. We have 2 young corners in this game. Samuel for the Chargers, Pat Surtain for the Broncos. We're going to make a real impact for the next 10 years in this league.
Sam Martin gets it off. There was a clear rush. Roberts under it. And fair catch called for just short of the 35-yard line. That's a 41-yard kick. Chargers get it back. They're going to place it at the 35. LA on offense with Herbert when we come back. Back here at SoFi Stadium in LA, developing situation with Denver at quarterback. Drew Lock has left the field, heading towards the locker room. Hand off to Austin Eckler. Hit from behind, and he brought Hairston with him for a gain of 6 as we check in with Evan.
Yeah, guys, Locke suffered a right arm, possibly shoulder injury. The 9:30 mark of the first quarter, that was when he scrambled on third down, led to the fourth down. Dalton Reisner actually got hurt in that play as well. Obviously went through that last series. He was receiving a little bit of treatment attention prior to the last series. Came to the sideline here. They looked at him again now, obviously taking him in for further evaluation. Keep you updated once I know more.
Yep, it would be Brett Rippon stepping in. Herbert offline. Try to hit Keenan Allen. Out across the middle. It's incomplete. Now it's 3rd and 4. So just going back to that mark, it's there as he took a serious shot from Joey Bosa. And you could tell that he was just trying to get sorted out with that right shoulder.
Yeah, trying to work his way through it. There's Brett Rippon, who has 1 start in the NFL so far, who's been elevated to the number 2 quarterback spot with Teddy Bridgewater still out under concussion protocol.
Justin Jackson is in, 3rd and 4. Herbert in the pocket. Incomplete. He had Keenan Allen open. And the Chargers have not looked crisp here since that opening drive.
You're right about that, because that last throw by Justin Herbert offline, this one looked like a drop by Keenan Allen.
A flag.
Holding. Offense, number 22. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
poor Justin Jackson, because he came over in pass protection, and I think he absorbed most of the blow. Watch Jackson right in here, and he does, and still gets called for a hold. As number 43 Micah Kaiser came on the pass rush, so he gets run over trying to protect his quarterback, and they throw the flag on him, and Keenan Allen dropped it at the end of the play anyway.
So another punt here for Ty Long. Deontay Spencer is the deep man. It's 2 straight 3-and-outs for Los Angeles. No rush. Wobbler. Bounces to Spencer. He fields and gets hit at the 15-yard line. He thought he could break away from that initial wave, but Justin Jackson with a strong tackle, 48-yard kick. 7-0 LA. Next week, the NFL season finale. We are in for plenty of cliffhangers. Teams jockey to make their postseason push. Who's in? Who's out? We'll get you caught up on all the playoff scenarios as well. The NFL season finale next week on CBS. Chargers leading this one 7-0. 2 wins for the Chargers, and they are in the playoffs. Denver looking to stay alive, entering action at 7-8. Handoff. This play is whistled dead. Looked like Gordon was going to get the call.
False start. Offense. Number 87. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
It's Noah Fant. And back it up. Down to Evan.
It is a right shoulder injury for Drew Lock, guys. His return is questionable. He remains in the Denver Broncos locker room as we speak, so it's the Rippon show for the foreseeable future.
And right away, Evan, you saw where they had a false start there. Sometimes you get that new quarterback who hasn't taken any reps with the first team. Even his cadence can throw you off initially.
Rippon on the give. Gordon rips through 1 tackle and then picks up 5 yards on the play. All right, let's go through the Brett Rippon bio. He's in his 3rd year out of Boise State. He's been on the practice squad for Denver. Started a game last season against the Jets. Actually led them to a victory. That game-winning drive at the end. The Rippon name sounds familiar. His Uncle Mark, of course, Super Bowl MVP with Washington.
Very nifty operator. Doesn't have the arm Drew Lock possesses, doesn't have the athleticism, the off-platform, off-schedule plays. Things need to be a little more precise when he's on the field.
But excellent mechanics, good zip on his throws. That time instinctually just getting rid of it. He's not going to absorb the sack on a 2nd down and 10. Brings up 3rd and 10. Set up a number of records at Boise State over the course of his career. Undrafted. And had to work really hard to get to this position in the NFL.
Pretty good tradition of Boise State quarterbacks who come out who don't have all the physical attributes you're looking for, but know how to win. Remember Kellen Moore? 50-3 while he was there. Brett Rippon had a great record while he was there. 4 times All Mountain West Conference. Now thrown into the fire in this one.
Okwebunam is back in there for Denver. This is a 3rd and 10 for the Broncos. Rippon from the gun. Lets it fly too high for Cortland Sutton in a matchup with Michael Davis. And the Broncos go 3 and out.
And that one will go on Brett Rippon. It's hard coming off the bench. It's hard being that guy and having to get it done. But that's what they ask you to do as a backup. because the pass protection was excellent there. Had a clean pocket, able to step up, good sight lines. He just airmailed that one.
Davis had a positive COVID test right before the game last week. Didn't play, cleared protocols, and is in there today for the Chargers. Another punt for Sam Martin. Now in his 9th year in the NFL. Roberts fields it at the 29. And he's dropped at the 30-yard line. 56-yard punt, just a yard on the return. P.J. Locke, the tackle. Back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive Insurance. First down handoff for Austin Eckler. Gains 4 as he leans forward on Jonathan Harris, one of the players stepping in for Denver because of all the positive COVID tests. Harris, Marquise Spencer, Andre Mintz. Number of names that were not on the active roster at any point this season. Another stoppage here.
It's like Corey Linsley, they're going to get the Pro Bowl All-Pro center who missed last week. And they were so happy to have him back to key everything on the offensive line.
So Scott Quesenberry is already practicing snapping on the sideline as Corey Linsley is walking gingerly towards it.
And that's so smart, because it's not just that Quesenberry came over to do this. Justin Herbert ran to the bench as soon as he realized that he was losing his center to get a few extra snaps in from Quesenberry, because during the week Corey Linsley took probably 99% of the snaps with Justin Herbert and had to get reacquainted with Quesenberry, who was the center last week.
So yeah,
very smart play by the youngster.
Pipkins in for Norton on the right side. Quesenberry now in for Linsley. Fake it on the boot. Floater wasn't there for Palmer. And Herbert has not been locked in this opening quarter.
No, he has not been sharp. There have been some balls that have come off his hand and been a little unusual. Now, Malik Reed tried to affect this a little bit in the passing lane, and I think he affected to the point where he tipped it. It wasn't just a bad throw by Herbert. Watch Malik Reed, see how the ball changes? Good job by Reed, 59, getting into the passing lane and knocking that one away.
Charles, Justin Herbert is 1 of 6 for 10 yards. Hit his first pass of the day. He has missed on his last 5. 36, 2.5 to go. First quarter. Shotgun. Herbert lines it up. Open man. Jackson's got the catch in the first down. Out across the 40-yard line. Jackson put up really good numbers last week. In the absence of Eckler, 64 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 98 yards receiving on 8 catches.
And how about the intelligence at the end of that catch to understand where he was on the field, where the first down marker was, and you don't need an extra move. You're not trying to make someone miss. Just get upfield and get past those sticks. And that's exactly what he accomplished.
7th-round pick from Northwestern in 2018. Now in his 4th season with the Chargers, an all-around threat. Under 2 minutes to go. Pitch it to him. Jackson turns it upfield. And brought down after the gain of 3 by Harris and Griffith.
It's been interesting about Justin Jackson in his career, Ryan, is that when he was at Northwestern, he piled up a lot of yards. One of the all-time leading rushers there, and was durable. Was on the field all the time. He's come into the NFL, and he battled his way through things, but the dings have occurred, which has been very unusual for a guy with that many carries in college and those kind of numbers.
2 tight ends in this formation, Anderson and McKinney. Herbert flushed out, looks downfield, throws on the move, makes the connection at the 45. Keenan Allen gets open. First down, L.A. Kaiser put the heat on Herbert.
And these are receivers that understand they have a mobile quarterback who will keep a play alive. So if they stay alive as receivers, they give themselves and their quarterback a chance to make a play. Pat Surtain had good coverage initially, but Keenan Allen understood his quarterback had flushed out, made himself available for the catch.
Chargers now on the move in Denver territory with under a minute to go here in the first. Jackson remains in there. Jet sweep. Guyton. Jalen Guyton had nowhere to go. 1-yard gain with forward progress. Marquise Spencer guarding the area for Denver.
7th-round pick out of Mississippi State. You just mentioned a number of guys who weren't on the active roster much, if at all, this year. he is one of those guys elevated due to all the guys being out today. Makes a nice play holding down the perimeter. Got some nice help also from Micah Kaiser, number 43, the linebacker.
And now Eckler is back in there. They can run another play if they want to. And they will. Running play. Eckler. That loop from Eckler as he recognized there might be some heat going up the middle. And gain 6 on the final play of the first quarter. Tackle made by Jonas Griffith. We know what's at stake here. Chargers trying to stay alive in their playoff quest. Back after this. Back in LA, Chargers enter the day number 9 in the AFC, but things have broken their way, and an opportunity with a victory here against Denver to put themselves right in the middle of the playoff picture, and then a win next week against the Raiders, and they're in the postseason. 3rd and 3, up 7-0. Herbert fires it in there and hits his big target, Mike Williams, for a first down inside the 30, down to Evan Washburn.
Corey Linsley, guys, dealing with a back injury. He's currently in the locker room. His return is questionable. And again, Drew Lock still in the locker room for the Denver Broncos with that right shoulder injury.
All right, Ed. It's Quesenberry in at center. Eckler gets the call. Eckler hit along the sideline. Nice block from the rookie out of Northwestern, Rashawn Slater. And Eckler turns it into 9 yards.
Really good blocking, as you just described there. And what's that phrase we like to use? Contact balance. Meaning you absorb contact, still keep your feet. Austin Eckler displayed that there. A little bit of that contact in the backfield, shook it off, and able to go through the hole.
And finally some rhythm for Los Angeles on offense after a couple of dormant drives. 2nd and 1. Herbert. First down catch. Palmer. Working against Surtain along the perimeter. They'll move the chains for Los Angeles.
Look at him working as Pat Surtain, and look at the cushion that Surtain is giving Josh Palmer. And I'm not sure exactly why, because Josh Palmer's not going to run by you as much as he's going to body you and beat you that way a little bit. Now, Pat Surtain's some familiarity. Surtain out of Alabama, Palmer, Tennessee, played against each other in the SEC.
1st and goal. Jackson tripped up inside the 5. Kareem Jackson helped save the touchdown for Denver, but Los Angeles is threatening.
And that rhythm you're talking about is on display every snap. And how about Justin Jackson's contact balance there? Should have gone down probably 3 yards before he did, but got a hand down, not a forearm. A forearm puts him down, but the hand keeps him alive on the play.
12th play of the drive. Handoff. Jackson. He's met at the line of scrimmage, driven backwards. Harris, the first man to greet him, and then he got some help on the inside from Stephen and company for no gain.
Eckler will come back out on the field. So will Josh Palmer, who continues to get better on the perimeter. So now they've got their big targets on the field, meaning Palmer, number 5 in blue. I believe Williams, 81, should be out there, giving them those opportunities to play jump ball in the end zone if they choose to do so, with Keenan Allen inside.
3rd and goal. Adjustment made from Herbert. Tosses. Catch made. Palmer could not get there. Stood up. And now, what do you do if you're LA? Fuller and Hairston at the goal line.
Nice job, but if you're LA, what you normally do is you go ahead and go. I mean, that's normally what you do when you're Brandon Staley, but in a game like this, I think he's looking at it this way, Ian. Backup quarterback out. 3rd quarterback in. A lot of guys out. I like where we're going. Points more valuable to him than trying to go ahead and push it and get 6. He'll take the 3 here.
It'll be a chip shot here for Dustin Hopkins, 8-year veteran. This is a 19-yard attempt. It's good. Chargers take a 10-0 lead on the Denver Broncos. 2nd quarter action continues from SoFi. Moment to send our thoughts to the families and communities of Boulder County, just northwest of Denver. They faced the aftermath of Thursday's wildfires. Nearly 1,000 homes and businesses were destroyed. 3 people have been reported missing, several more injured. Intense winds spread the fires across 6,000 acres. We wish all of those affected strength as they recover and rebuild. Drew Lock is back on the field. Looks like he is ready to go once the Broncos get this kickoff. Helmet is on. Spent some time in the locker room. They were dealing with a shoulder issue. Dustin Hopkins will kick it off after the 19-yard field goal. Line drive. Boone's not going to touch it. Touchback. Touchback number 6, Dustin Hopkins. So this was the injury for Drew Lock. Took place in the first quarter, trying to run for the first down.
He has a 3rd and long, and he tried to pick it up, took the hit from Joey Bosa, and showed the discomfort there. And there you see him walking to the locker room. It was interesting seeing him come back out onto the field. I looked at the sideline, wanted to see him throw a few passes, if he loosened up. Never saw. So maybe he did something back under the tunnel. Who knows? But here he is giving it a try. Now, if I'm Brandon Staley, defensive play caller, and Ronaldo Hill, defensive coordinator, I'm testing Drew Lock early in pass situation. I'm sending a lot of pressure his way.
Single setback, Javonte Williams. 1 series for Brett Rippon. Lock is going to throw it. Protection holds up. Lock uncorks it deep, and it's caught. Cortland Sutton in Los Angeles territory on a deep ball from Lock, showing off the arm strength.
And what a play by Cortland Sutton, because he saw the football. Michael Davis did not. And watch him, he saw him cut back inside to make the catch. So whatever Drew Lock did back in the locker room did not involve throwing passes that we could see. But the arm, just fine there. But an even better play by Cortland Sutton downfield, 44 big yards.
First down, just short of the 30. Handoff. Williams gets hit and carries a defender with him for 4 yards. Javonte Williams is averaging 4.7 yards per carry. Justin Jones makes the stop for LA. Last week, hard to believe with these 2 guys, Williams and Gordon, 12 rushing yards for Williams on 7 carries, -4 for Gordon on 7 carries.
Doesn't even sound right. I think it said what?
Williams knifing spin move as he's dropped at the 22. It's a 5-yard pickup. Broncos teammates, each with 750 or more rushing yards in a single season, have to go back to Mike Anderson and Tatum Bell back in 05. That was a revolving door time for Denver. No matter who they put in there would gain 1,000. Olandis Gary, Mike Anderson, you name it.
That was after Terrell Davis?
Yes.
I mean, just every guy they plugged in, as you noted, with the way their running game went. Alex Gibbs is the offensive line coach.
31. Lock doesn't go straight forward. Instead, he opts to shift a bit, and he picks up the necessary yardage out to the 20-yard line. Down to Evans.
Well, guys, just want to update you on Lock here. Obviously, he's showing that he's good to go by the way he's performing on this drive. No visible harness, guys. That's always important with that shoulder injury, especially because it's that right arm, that throwing arm. Charles, he did get a couple throws in here, cut it loose. Talked to his quarterback coach, Mike Shulin, kind of gave him the, yeah, I'm good to go, guys, and obviously he's proven it here.
I'm glad you're there, Evan, and you saw him do. I didn't see him at all during that time frame. Glad you picked it up, and he was fully confident and let it go with Cortland Sutton right out of the gate.
New set of downs for Denver. They're on the move at the 20. 3 tight ends in this formation. And a handoff. Williams, no gain, gets stonewalled by Joey Bosa, Pro Bowler for the 4th time in his career.
Did you see how they crowded the line of scrimmage? Because it wasn't just Bosa making a play where he should be, right at the point of attack. Nasir Adderley, number 24, the safety, up at the line of scrimmage, crashing off of the edge, helping stop that play as well.
Chargers defense has allowed 21 points or more and 300-plus yards in 11 straight games. The numbers have not been very good. They've been the worst 3rd down defense in the NFL. This is a 2nd and 10 for Denver. Under 8 minutes to go in this first half. Floated out outside. Open man is Noah Fant. Walks the tightrope along the sideline. And he is out of bounds inside the 5.
You talk about wide open for Noah Fant to get into the flat. There is no defender discernible there. No one even close. Has to be a bust in coverage there to get Fant that easily isolated out in the flat. And a good job by Drew Lock finding his guy and putting it on him for a nice game.
And the same draft class, 2019. So a lot of chemistry with Lock and Fant, experience together. Lock talked about Fant's maturity level. First and goal, fake it, on the boot, Lock, catch made. Okwebunam is bottled up by Derwin James.
He tried to do the stop and let him fly by him, but Derwin James is having none of it. He wrapped up full body. Okwebunam was trying to make that stop and cut back inside. Is he right there? No chance. Derwin James had him lined up and put him down on the spot.
I know people have called him Alberto. That seems to be the go-to. We've talked to the Denver PR department many times.
What do you want?
We want to get it right. They've told us, Okwebunam. Just say it in the mirror over and over. Second and goal.
I just let you say it first and try to mimic it.
Lock on again. Javonte Williams tried to lunge and catapult his way in. He's held to a gain of 1.
Well, they just piled it up there. And the big man, Linval Joseph, look at 98, taking on 2. Jerry Tillery does a good job trying to hold the point of attack. Justin Jones, 93. And a good job by Drew Lock catching that snap. It was off target just a tad. Good athleticism back there.
And I give credit to the hard-hitting Nasir Adderley for getting low to greet Williams. Third and goal. Lock on again. Wrapped up. Williams could not break away from Justin Jones. No gain on the play, and Los Angeles has held up. It's 4th down.
And they're going to go for it if you're Denver. If you went for it before, you need to go for it now. But for all the talk all year and all of the lack of performance in the run game and defense by Los Angeles, their best defenders have come to the front here. Linval Joseph will play before. Justin Jones there. They're their best run defenders up front.
Vic Fangio takes a peek at the play clock and will use a timeout.
First charge timeout, Denver.
Kind of surprised they had a little bit of trouble there for this reason. They came into this game deciding they were going to go for it and press it. We saw it early. 4th downs out in the field. They went for a 4th and 6. So you would have figured they would have had that play dialed up already, ready to go. Almost like there was a little bit of hesitancy, like I said we're going to go for it, but are we? I think at this stage, if you're Vic Fangio, I think you've committed to it. Stay with it. Dial up a good play here on 4th down and try and get it in the end zone.
This team is 7-8, 1-3 in the division. The lone victory came against the Chargers back in Week 12, 28-13. They have 3 offensive touchdowns in their last 3 losses combined. Scoring points has been challenging.
The good thing they have out there now is that Drew Lock is athletic and mobile. So if he needs to extend or they put him on the move, he's capable. Cortland Sutton would be your top guy that you should look for if you're Drew Lock.
2 backs, Gordon and Boone. Trickery. Caught, hitting the throw. Well, can't get there. The Broncos going to a bag of tricks. And the bag doesn't hold up.
And it didn't hold up because I believe it's Chris Harris, number 25, right here on the, no, it's Nasir Adderley, 24, right there on the pitch to Hinton.
The pass from Hinton, hit by Adderley. Lock could not get to the goal line. Back here in Los Angeles, happy holidays from our crew. Everybody was interested in participating except for Igor. On a handoff, going to Gabe Neighbors up the gut just to create a little bit of space. Let's go back to the last play for Denver.
And this is what's going on, is that Nasir Adderley, number 24 in the powder blue, he sees it and goes right now. And because he went right at that moment, he was able to spill the play so that wasn't an accurate throw from Kendall Hinton. And because it's not an accurate throw, Locke's got to go back and get it. That allowed everyone else to get there and stop him from getting into the end zone. The former Delaware Blue Hen, a different shade of blue, but still big-time play, Evan Washburn.
And Locke must be okay. Quarterback sneak, and then sending him out to catch a pass from Hinton on the dump-off to McKitty with the grab. So Locke's going to take some hits in those situations. Obviously, I understand. If he's in there, you got to run your offense or do the things that you're planning on doing.
He might be sitting there saying to himself, I said I was okay. I didn't say I was that okay. I mean, quarterback sneak, taking the hit out in the open field. But here's the bottom line. I'm joking. Drew Lock, he'll do whatever today.
Yeah.
He's trying to show this brass, this organization, he's their guy. And he wants to show them that he'll do whatever it takes to try and make it work.
3rd down and 2. Running play goes nowhere for Eckler. The Denver defense stepping forward with Jonathan Harris in his 3rd year from Division II Lindenwood in Missouri.
Look how he uses his hands there as he worked right past Matt Filer, number 71, to step up into the gap. He got some assistance from Micah Kaiser late, but Jonathan Harris with the big play initially at the line of scrimmage, and this sets Denver up with excellent field position if they field this punt cleanly.
Ty Long will kick it. Deontay Spencer's averaging 8.4 yards per return with a long of 25 this season. Kick floats to the 48. Oh, he muffs it! Opportunity for Denver. Goes by the board. Recovered by the Chargers. Big-time special teams play. The Chargers come away with a football. And Keemon Hall on the recovery.
May have jinxed him a little. I said if they just said field it cleanly, they've got it. But Keemon Hall on the spot, as you noted, comes up with the recovery after the ball goes through the hands of Spencer. Hall hits him and takes him out of the play and then comes up with the football. And as hard as it is to move against this Denver defense, I'm wondering if Joe Lombardi wants to go for a big shot here early in this series and try and loosen things up.
So they open this drive in Denver territory at the 49. Eckler spun down behind the line of scrimmage. Could not break away from Micah Kaiser. 4th-year pro who used to play his football in this city for the Rams.
Won the Campbell Trophy at the University of Virginia, which is the academic Heisman Award, top collegiate football player and academic. And on the other side, you know who won it for the Chargers? Won Justin Herbert.
There you go.
And then matching wits, linebacker versus quarterback.
From midfield, Herbert. He's 7 of 12. He's now 8 of 13. McKitty dances along the sideline. McKitty, 6'4", 246, rookie from Georgia, 3rd-round pick, met by Kareem Jackson. They pick up 8 yards through the air.
And the way this game is going, Chargers trying to find that breakthrough against a really gritty Denver team. All year long, we've seen the Chargers go for it, right? To me, this is 4-down territory right here. I know it's 3rd and short, but if they don't get it and don't lose yardage, would not be surprised at all for Brandon Staley to say, go get it.
Chargers in no rush here. They're going to let this thing roll down to the 2-minute warning. Herbert has completed 7 straight passes. Chargers will face a 3rd and 3. 2022. The NFL coming down to the wire this season. 66 degrees on this January Sunday in Southern California. 3rd and 3 for the Chargers. 2 minutes to go, first half. They go with the running play, and it's Austin Eckler stoned by Kyle Fuller. So now here's the decision that we alluded to if it's 4th down, and it looks like it's pretty obvious. Brandon Staley's keeping the offense out on the field.
Yeah, that decision was made on 3rd down in terms of, hey, we're going to go and run our play here. But as long as it's not a big loss of yardage, they were prepared to go for it on 4th down. Never any hesitancy on Brandon Staley's part.
Right now they'd be looking at a 59-yard field goal. Timeout has been called by Denver.
Denver. This is a 30
We'll come back in 30 seconds after this from State Farm.
This season, cozy up with CTV Throwback.
I can hardly wait.
And hundreds of your favorite shows.
Hey, all right!
We're talking fan favorites and beyond.
I wonder why we never do anything like that.
And totally free.
Seriously?
You really think so?
Get it all on CTV Throwback.
Dynamite! Good time, girl, good time.
Only on CTV.ca and the CTV app. It's CTV and so much more. Stream anytime.
In the Chargers' 8 wins this season, they've averaged 33.9 points per game. They've allowed 25 points per game. In their 7 losses, they've averaged just under 20 points per game, 19.6, allowing 31 points per game.
And in a game like this, it's this tight, they've got to find a way to break through and give themselves a little bit of a margin against a team playing their backup quarterback and struggling with numbers on defense.
They need 2 yards to keep the drive alive. Trying to get Denver to jump, didn't happen.
First charge timeout, Los Angeles. This is a 30-second timeout.
So the Chargers use the timeout with 1:25 to go in the second quarter. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. We mentioned that connection between Fangio and Staley. Staley worked for him and learned a lot, but the interview process was pretty stringent. He basically came in and they said, well, teach me football. And he had 6 things in mind that he was going to teach him. And he wasn't getting the reaction that he wanted.
Getting nothing. No reaction back, nothing. And he's like, I guess I better just keep going. Well, here's thing 5.
But they took a lunch break. Shotgun on 4th and 2. Herbert lays it up there. Catch made. Eckler, big gain. First down. And the Chargers moved the chains. They took a lunch break, and he saw some of the other assistants, and they asked him, hey, how's it going? He said, I'm not getting any reaction. He said, and they said, oh, that's good.
That's good. They knew the reaction from Vic Fangio. But this play on this swing pass to Austin Eckler, that's essentially a running play. You know, in another universe, that's a tough sweep as Justin Herbert takes the shot there in the backfield from P.J. Locke.
A minute 19 to go in the second quarter. Eckler will shift to the side of Herbert. Swing it to him again. Out in space. Gets hit out of bounds. Obviously, Staley got the job. And it wasn't until the final part of the presentation where Fangio joined him on the board and started adding to what Staley had said. He was like, oh, wait a second. Maybe I've hit something here.
Because that's when he realized he co-signed.
Yes. Right?
And a lot of times coaches don't tell you anything. They show you. And that's when he showed him, hey, you're getting this job because I'm up here with you.
Second down and 7. Herbert gets rid of it quickly on the out route. Not much extra yardage after the catch for Jalen Guyton. And they gain 5. Clock is rolling. We're going to hit 1 minute to play. Surtain there defensively. Chargers holding on to a 10-0 lead. 8-7 entering action. The Baltimore loss, the Miami loss has put LA in a position to win out and make the playoffs.
And throughout this season, haven't we seen how defenses have tried to keep these explosive quarterbacks limited? Justin Herbert is taking what they're giving him and not pushing it too far right now.
This is a 30-second timeout.
See how decisive he's been throwing the football?
It's 10 straight completions now for Herbert. Don't forget Verizon Halftime Report, JB and the gang, scores and highlights, all coming up. Verizon Halftime Report.
If I go back and look at those 10 straight completions, what I'm seeing out of Justin Herbert is Denver's not going to let you be explosive and get over the top. Okay, fine. What's in front that's available to me? Can I hit my wide receiver right now? And if not, I'll immediately go to my check down and throw it to Austin Eckler. I mean, we saw that on the 4th down play. We saw it on the very next swing pass. And then we just saw the little pass out to the flat. He's being very decisive, not worried about taking the second option, the third option downfield.
7 different receivers have caught at least 1 pass. In some trouble, Herbert gets out of it. Looking to run, Herbert dives across the 20 for a first down. 31 seconds left. Timeout call.
Well, these quarterbacks not afraid to give their bodies up to try and get a first down. We saw it earlier from Drew Lock trying to get there. He doesn't. He took the shot from Joey Bosa. In this case, Justin Herbert cuts back inside the attempt tackle by Hairston and dives for the first down marker and gets in ahead of the tackle by Micah Kiser.
When we asked Justin Herbert about this offense under Joe Lombardi, this is a different offense than he played in last year as a rookie. He said, learning the offense, I'm getting better, but there's still a lot of room for me to grow. It's been challenging. Great support in the quarterback room. It's new language, completely new language. Formations are called something different. A lot of kills and alerts that he has to be in charge of.
And he has to absorb and make sure his team is confident that he has all of them, and that's what he's been doing.
They added 3 seconds to the clock. Herbert lets it fly. Catch made by Jackson. He is out of bounds at the 11.
Fortunate he wasn't right on the sideline when he first caught the ball. Why? Because he has to double catch it. So he had enough room before he got to the sideline to haul it in and still get his feet down and be in bounds. If he's right on the sideline, that's going to be a no catch. Good job by Justin Jackson staying with it. Let's see if he takes a shot at the end zone here.
Herbert. Underneath toss, again the bobble. Jackson secures it, and he's got a first down. Out of bounds, inside the 10. Gain of 3, first and goal, 23 seconds to go in this first half.
So the back line of the Denver defense, the defensive backs in the end zone are doing an excellent job of discouraging Justin Herbert from taking a shot out there. You know, with a Mike Williams, with a Josh Palmer, with these big receivers, you would think he might want to throw one up. That shows the respect he has on the corner for Pat Surtain and for Kyle Fuller.
First and goal for the Chargers. Trying to add to their lead. Herbert through the air and tosses it over the head of the intended receiver, Steven Anderson. So 12 straight completions. That streak ends on that play. Malik Reed with some pressure on Herbert. 19 seconds to play.
Good pressure there, and Kareem Jackson, who's a safety, number 22 for Denver, in the coverage there against Mike Williams. Remember, Kareem Jackson broke into the league as a first-round cornerback, so he hasn't lost those skills to go out wide and cover.
11th play of the drive. Herbert rifles, touchdown! He hums it in there to Keenan Allen. Justin Herbert can really sling it.
Look how he looked left to move the defense in that direction to come back to where he wanted to go. He loved the matchup he had with Keenan Allen on Nate Hairston, who's normally just a special teams player. Hasn't been full-time on the field as a defensive back for a long time. He wanted that matchup, moved him left with his eyes and his head and his shoulders, manipulating, and came back and, as you said, hummed a strike in there to Keenan Allen.
Extra point. Hopkins straight through. So the Chargers get points before the break. 17-0. With that throw from Justin Herbert, he has tied the Chargers' all-time mark for single-season touchdown passes. Keenan Allen celebrating. 17-0. LA. Rarefied air for Justin Herbert. 34 touchdown passes this season, tying him with Phillip Rivers for the most in franchise history in one season. A lot of duck bonding there with Dan Fouts as well. Oregon product Justin Herbert. Hopkins through the back of the end zone, coming out to the 25. Football's iconic show inside the NFL. It's streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, those guys from Eugene, Oregon have done their school and themselves proud, haven't they?
Did all right.
I think Dan did.
He did fine.
I'd say a gold jacket qualifies as you did fine.
Yeah, for some people.
So. Yeah, I would say so. and then became a Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Yes,
as well.
Dan.
He did it all.
One of the best to ever do it.
No question about it. And now here's Justin Herbert trying to follow in those footsteps. But he can hold off on the broadcasting for a while. Just keep playing.
Lock tosses it. Catches May. They're going to get yards from Gordon and out of bounds. at the 49.
And Joey Bosa's like, how did I not get that sack? How did this not happen?
He had Bosa and Nwosu.
Look at that up and under there on Cam Fleming, and he misses. And look at him on, what? No.
Bosa trying to crack double digits in sacks. He's got 9.5.
Going to another Pro Bowl.
That would be his 4th double-digit season.
What do you want?
Let's go. Let's go.
Still need about 10 yards for a legitimate try. 5 seconds over the middle. Denver has that timeout. Kendall Hinton with the grab. So they pick up 8.
Did he go down with that thought in mind?
I think so.
He went down very abruptly, didn't he? It's like he had that thought in his head, get down and save some time and give us an opportunity.
So Brandon McManus will come out here. His career long is 58. This is a 61-yard attempt. And we are not in the elevation of the Rocky Mountains.
We don't have any sign up here. 52,280.
Nope.
5,280. The error is rare.
I didn't get lightheaded coming to the broadcast booth.
You're good.
61-yard attempt. McManus leans into it. It's on the way. And it's good. Broncos on the board. McManus with a bomb.
Heavy air, light air, doesn't matter. Brandon McManus, you nailed it. Leaned into it perfectly.
They got the ball with 14 seconds left, and they manufactured 3 points at the end of the half. Vic Fangio likes what he sees on a 61-yarder from McManus. 17-3, the Chargers on top of the Broncos. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Halftime in Los Angeles, the Chargers on top of the Broncos, 17-3. We'll come back with the start of the second half after this. From your local station, you're watching the NFL on CBS.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me football standings.
Getting you ready for second half action here at SoFi Stadium. 17-3, the Chargers in front of the Broncos. Here in the broadcast booth, Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn down on the sidelines, the rest of our CBS crew. For LA, you get a win here, you get a win next week against the Raiders, you're in the playoffs. So they know what's in front of them. How would you grade their first half performance?
I'd say a little bit above average because they had great field position on at least 3 drives. It didn't pay off at all for them. Late in the half, got a nice drive going, got the touchdown from Justin Herbert. But I think their defense playing well above what we've seen throughout this season. Making a big 4th down stop on 2 different occasions, especially one near the end zone on that, Philly special type play that Denver tried to run. But give Denver a lot of credit. They've hung in there really tough, especially on the defensive side.
No doubt. Denver aggressive. It's gone for it a number of times. Basically that we've got nothing to lose mentality right now for Vic Fangio and company, considering the fact that they are 7-8 and dealing with so many names on COVID reserve. Broncos will have it at the 25. We check in with Evan Washburn.
And I followed the Broncos into the locker room. There's no doubt that 61-yard field goal gave them some much-needed momentum. Vic Fangio on the 4th down call said, look, it's a struggle for us to score right now. We have to continue to be aggressive. As for Brandon Staley, defensively pleased with what his group has done, but he wants more pressure on Drew Lock. 0 sacks in that first half, and offensively really pleased with the run-pass balance, especially the commitment guys to the run game allowed them to dictate the pace in that first half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 1st and 10 at the 25 for Denver. It's Gordon. Running lane closes quickly, and Gordon will get dropped at the 31. So he gains up 6 yards. First half numbers, 175 yards total for the Chargers. Broncos had 137. They had that 1 turnover. LA this season 5-0 when Herbert does not turn the ball over.
Notice that 4th down stat. Normally that's 1 of 3. Even going for it more from Los Angeles. Denver being aggressive today.
On the ground, Gordon. Nice cut. Gordon sliced racing across the 40-yard line for 12.
How about the finish of this play? Because you end up with two guys who don't mind contact. Every time you talk to a Denver coach or someone in the organization and you say Melvin Gordon, the word thumper comes out very quickly afterwards. And we know that Derwin James, not afraid at all to feed him his pads. Nice job there.
He spent 5 years as a member of the Chargers, went to 2 Pro Bowls. Started with San Diego, and then when they made the move to LA, Gordon sticks the helmet down and crosses the 45. 3.5. Tillery involved in that stop for Los Angeles, along with Linval Joseph. So Gordon will head to the Denver sideline. They've got this rotating setup with Javonte Williams, who told us, hey, I'm accustomed to it. I'm cool with it. I did it in college. Shared carries there with Michael Carter, who's turned out to be a terrific rookie himself with the Jets. 2nd down and 6. Fake it to Williams. Lock on the move. Fires in a sliding attempt. Juggle there. Saubert, the question, did he get it clean? He did not.
That cost him the catch because he has everything. He knows where he is. Watch him go to his knees to stay in bounds. But because he's juggling the ball, by the time he possesses it, he slides across the white and he's out of bounds. So he's in bounds there, but he doesn't have possession. He's juggling. And now as he hauls it in, he's gone. He did everything correctly except catch the ball on the first snatch.
There's that moment in slow motion where you can see him also recognize it.
No!
It's like, I got it. I don't got it.
I even slid to stay in bounds. I did it right.
3rd and 6. Lock from the gun. Lock sets and throws incomplete. He rainbowed it over Kendall Hinton. And Cortland Sutton was in the area as well. So now the punting unit will come on. 4th and 6. Denver's not going for that. And they will boot it away with Sam Martin.
I think that's the second time in this game we've seen Kendall Hinton slip on a route and cost his quarterback. One time it should have been intercepted by Derwin James. This time, fortunately, it goes out of bounds harmlessly, and now they can punt it away.
Andre Roberts, return man at the 9-yard line. He has 3 punt returns for touchdowns in his NFL career. And he gets popped at the 18. 40-yard punt, 4-yard return. Chargers with the football. They've got the lead here in the 3rd. On December 13th, the Los Angeles Chargers, along with team legends Danian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates, prized of 100 students at Hooper Avenue Elementary School with new bikes for the holidays. Tomlinson and Gates also addressed the importance of education. This was the 17th consecutive year the team partnered with the Bikes for Kids Foundation to distribute bikes to deserving students in Southern California.
Very cool, huh? How about the helmets they gave him, too?
Line of scrimmage is the 17. It's Herbert to Williams. On the quick hitter, Justin Simmons ranged over defensively.
In the first half, we talked about how decisive Justin Herbert got as the game went on. Eyeing his targets, seeing the coverage, even with a free runner coming at him, being smart with the football. But how about this one? Watch him look left, and he comes back right. Extremely decisive on this throw, where he lets loose the Justin Herbert cannon to Keenan Allen for a touchdown. We're seeing this young quarterback continue to grow in front of us.
2nd and 3. Play is blown up. Eckler met by Jonas Griffith. One thing you know with Vic Fangio, his teams are going to play excellent defense no matter who's wearing the uniforms.
And they find talent everywhere. Jonas Griffith is an All-American at 1AA Indiana State, undrafted by San Francisco, cut a few times, practice squad, and he moved in when they had a lot of injuries, and now I don't think they can get him out of the lineup. He makes a lot of plays, a lot of tackles. Last week against Houston, 13 tackles, 2 of them for a loss. Excuse me, against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Loss of 4. Herbert slings it underneath, and Eckler remains upright. Down the sideline, Eckler hit from behind. A long catch and run, eventually dropped by Fuller. Simmons could not bring him down, and it turns into a 40-yard pass play.
All right, you young quarterbacks out there, learn this and understand it. Check downs can be good, especially when you have an Austin Eckler. How about that contact balance there? They put a hand on him, a body on him. He stays up and gets the big yardage.
Denver's going to challenge the fact they believe Eckler was down.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner or receiver was down by contact.
No.
And in the words of Ivan Drago, you will lose.
His knee did not hit the turf. He maintained his balance. It was close, but right there, he's still going for 40 yards. Back here in Los Angeles, red flag thrown by Fangio. Officials took a look, and it was an open and shut case. The play will stand. Broncos now 1 of 8 on challenges this season. Chargers have it at the 40-yard line. Pitch. Eckler spun down. Micah Kaiser got in there, and Eckler gains 2.
This is what they were trying to say. That's where the Broncos were saying Eckler was down, but you can clearly see the knee never came down, stayed up for the big game.
And Eckler says, I must break you. Herbert loads it up and hits Keenan Allen for a first down. 17-yard completion. Let's go to New York. JB and Boomer.
San Fran hasn't had it easy with Houston.
No, they haven't, but here's Trey Lance, the 3rd overall pick in the last year's draft. He's going to hit Elijah Mitchell out of the backfield for an 8-yard touchdown. 49ers take a 10-7 lead. Back to you guys in L.A.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Here, the Chargers lead at 17-3. Keenan Allen just made his 100th catch of the season. Hole opens up for Jackson. And he takes it to the 15-yard line, a block from Trey McKitty for 7 yards.
It's interesting on the NFL Today, Boomer Esiason told Denver, this is your formula today. Javonte Williams, right? Melvin Gordon, you got to run the football and stuff it down their throat. Instead, it's actually been the Los Angeles Chargers running the football with authority today. A lot more so than what we've expected out of them. As Brandon Staley told Evan Washburn at halftime, he likes that balance he's seeing. He likes the fact they've established the running game.
Running play. Jackson spilled out. He's got enough for the first down on a 2nd and 3 hit by Jonathan Harris, and he gains 4. Back down to Evan.
Guys, there weren't a lot of positives come out of last week's game for the Chargers, but Justin Jackson's performance in that game is something this team can really rely on now. They've been looking for the number 2 back to Eckler all season long, and if they're going to make a run in the postseason, he could be that foil to Eckler when he obviously needs a breather.
Evan, we thought he might be that guy much earlier this year. We were all there. Remember that 75-yard sprint against New England? Unfortunately, pulled his quad on that play, and that set him back.
First down. Herbert tosses. Incomplete. Keenan Allen tried to make a one-handed snag against Surtain.
And I think a really good job by the officials here, because this goes back to our first half. See how they both have their hands on each other? So if you're going to do that, what the officials are going to tell you is, then you two work it out. Because you've agreed to initiate contact with each other. If it's not there, we're not pulling a flag and penalizing the other one. Good no call.
2nd down for L.A. Herbert on a give. Eckler picks his way for 4. It's going to be 3rd down. Shelby Harris there defensively for Denver. No Mike Purcell today, still on the COVID list. They lost to Deshaun Williams to injury. Agim out on the COVID list. You go through their entire defense. No Cooper, no Weatherly, no Browning, no Kenny Young today because of injury.
They have battled him hard, too.
3rd and 5. Herbert dials it up. Throws. Catch. Guyton. Just short of the goal line. Kareem Jackson made sure he didn't cross it.
Found a way to pick up a 1st and goal, though. That ball perfectly placed. Guyton trying to get there. Good job by Kareem Jackson keeping him out, but here they come.
Handoff. Eckler drilled behind the line line of scrimmage by Simmons. They pressed the line, and they got there in a hurry. A loss of 4.
Whatever was called there by Vic Fangio, somewhere in there, the words sellout were inherent, meaning doesn't matter what we're calling, just go. And Justin Simmons epitomized that, feeding him in the backfield for a big loss.
So back it up to the 5, 7.5 to go in the third.
Where is the matchup that Justin Herbert likes? He had Keenan Allen before on Nate Hairston for the touchdown in the first half.
Herbert guns it, incomplete. And he put some extra mustard on that to Palmer.
That's a tough matchup now. You're going against Pat Surtain, one of the better corners in the league, even as a rookie. And the ball's there, but it would have been a nice collision between Surtain and Palmer, trying to see if he could get into the end zone if he's able to haul that one in.
13th play of the drive. 3rd and goal. Shotgun. Herbert out of the pocket. Fires. Incomplete. There was Keenan Allen with Kareem Jackson back of the end zone. Field goal unit comes on for LA.
Boy, it sure is nice when your safeties can play some corner for you in certain situations. Kareem Jackson back to his corner roots. Came out of Alabama as a first-round cornerback before transitioning to safety. Excellent coverage there.
This is the rarity where you do an NFL game where there's a 19-yard field goal that we saw earlier and a 61-yard field goal. It was Hopkins who made the 19-yarder, McManus the 61-yarder. This is a 23-yard attempt. And it's perfect for Dustin Hopkins. Chargers lead it 20-3 in the third. The Denver Broncos and the entire NFL were saddened yesterday by the passing of Dan Reeves at the age of 77. 12 years as their head coach, Reeves built a perennial contender, making 3 Super Bowls with quarterback John Elway. Spent 4 seasons as the head coach of the Giants. He finished his career with the Falcons, leading them to their first Super Bowl. Reeves' 9 Super Bowl appearances as a player or coach, exceeded only by Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. We send our sincere condolences to the Reeves family. John Elway made a statement yesterday how much Reeves meant to him. They won a lot of games together and had a very tight bond at the beginning of Elway's career.
Yeah, they sure did. And, you know, they went through their ups and downs on that about how John wanted to play the game, what have you. But in looking back, that statement said everything about what Dan Reeves taught him, how they went ahead and worked together. And Dan Reeves had it all. A college running back, was supposed to be a safety with the Cowboys, moved back to running back. That halfback option, he was pretty good at it.
I did some games with him at Westwood One, radio playoff games. Just a gentleman.
Wonderful
stories. He was football.
His nephew is the starting center for the New England Patriots, David Andrews, who had to play today with a heavy heart.
7:09 to go in the third. Broncos have the football, trailing 20-3. Lock, sideline catch made by Fant. Inside, splits defenders, and now the raw speed of Fant on display to the 40-yard line.
And this is why Noah Fant was drafted. They wanted to see plenty of this and more. A downfield threat. This time he catches it underneath, but look how he takes off. Look at the acceleration as he gets into the alley and gets himself straight upfield. If you're the Denver Broncos and you're talking about Noah Fant, it's hard to believe that in his 3 years now, his yards per catch has dropped every year. His yards per catch should be high each and every year with that kind of talent.
His longest reception of the season, high school track and field standout. We just saw it on that play with the wheels. Stop and go, Williams. He is a candidate to truck you on any play. It's a 7-yard gain going right up the middle.
That's that old linebacker in him. High school linebacker. His new coach came in, flipped him over to offense, and turned it into a college career for him. As good as he was in high school, wasn't getting a lot of attention, and became a running back and ended up scholarship at the University of North Carolina, as you noted earlier, splitting time with Michael Carter. Go back and plug in their tape against the University of Miami. They're still running that night.
Yep, he is a bruiser that will run through contact. 2nd down and 3. Williams again. Waits for it, good patience, and it pays off for a first down. Down to Evan.
You talked to his high school coach, Kevin Motzinger, the guy who made that decision to switch him to linebacker to running back. Lost in that story, though, guys. When he wasn't carrying the ball, he was always the lead blocker. So they took advantage of that physicality on every play, whether he was the running back carrying the ball or the lead blocker for a high school team that runs the ball like it's the 1970s.
Yeah, I'm sure he was good at that as well.
Yeah, you didn't want to take him on in the hole, that's for sure.
This time Williams could not get a running start because the Chargers sniffed it out. Christian Covington, first man, Justin Jones alongside, loss of 4.
I think Derwin James helped his teammates out big. Watch James 33 off the edge. So he makes Javonte Williams change direction and stop his feet, which means Tillery 99, Bosa 97 gets there. We're seeing excellent safety play in this ball game. Justin Simmons for Denver, number 31, and we just saw it there from Derwin James, number 33 for the Chargers.
Second down and 14 with 4:25 to play in the third. Shotgun, Lock. They handle the rush. Lock, catch. Sutton, oh, what a move by Sutton. The juke move. Michael Davis got spun around like a top. 7-yard reception.
Back in the day, they would say, gave him the leg, took it away. Look at the move in there. Nope. And then one more, just for you. Kind of Barry Sanders-esque in the open field there from Cortland Sutton, back from the ACL. Suffered last year.
We are now under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Third down and 7 for Denver. They trail by 17. In the backfield, Gordon. Lock. Slings it for a first down. It's Cortland Sutton. And this drive continues for Denver. 9 yards on the catch.
Well-thrown football there by Drew Lock, and another nice move and being physical by Cortland Sutton to pick up a first down. All year long, these Chargers have struggled on third down defense. Much better today. Broncos just 2 of 8.
Hey, he's tired.
But that's something there. They gave up a big one there when they probably could have forced a field goal attempt.
Lock, second-round pick in 2019, 4-year starter at Missouri. Running play goes nowhere. Gordon wrapped up by Joey Bosa. Former teammates.
Bosa, the ultimate technician, hand usage, knows how to play. Look at him, just goes right through. Now, I would say that as good as Joey Bosa is, it's usually a good idea to block him. And if you're not going to block him, it's going to turn out badly for you, as it did there.
Just working out some equipment there for Bosa. Now on the sideline for LA, 2:23 and counting, remaining in the third. Second down and 14 for Denver. Lock, fake the handoff. Pump fake, gets out of trouble, on the move. Takes a little shot right at the end of the play as he curled it inside the 20 from Kaiser White. They exchanged some words. 2-yard pickup.
I would imagine White was telling him, you know, I pulled off because you're right on the sideline. One more step in bounds, I would have unloaded on you. And it's a smart play by White, and you see Hinton trying to get himself open here, being trailed by Chris Harris. He thinks he's there, but Locke can't get rid of it.
Ooh, he's got muscles.
Hey, he's showing some grit today, isn't he? Went to the locker room earlier with an arm injury, managed to come back, show his toughness.
Lock on 3rd and 12, looking for it all. Off the hands of Seth Williams with a flag thrown. Quarterback got hit on the release. Flag is on the far side at the 19-yard line. And Locke gets in there to plead his case to the officials. May have been 2 flags on that play.
Enough discussion for it, that's for sure.
Craig Rolstad joined the NFL in 2003, eventually becoming a referee 8 years ago. So Drew Lock is getting boxed out. He's trying to show off where he got hit. Took off his helmet.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 33, high hit on the quarterback. Offside, defense, number 33, that penalty is declined. Half the distance to goal, first down.
So watch 33. And you heard what Craig Rolstad said. He said high hit on the quarterback. The gear got involved around the shoulder area and into the face mask of Drew Lock, thus drawing the flag. Nice descriptor there by Craig Rolstad. Let us know exactly what we were exactly what that penalty was called for.
And Derwin James 2 for the price of 1.
Well, the offside gave him that running start, didn't it? Jet propelled him a little bit towards the quarterback.
So the Broncos are set up first and goal at the 9. First penalty against the Chargers today. 3 tight ends. Handoff, Williams. Takes it inside to the 5. Evan Washburn asked Javonte, hey, when was your welcome to the NFL moment? He said, oh man, against Jacksonville, Josh Allen hit me harder than I've ever been hit in my life. And we then asked him, well, was there any talking afterwards? And he basically said, like, why'd you hit me so hard?
I think Josh Allen said to him, why'd you go down so easy?
Yeah.
He goes, well, why'd you hit me so hard? Pretty simple.
10th play of the drive. Williams tried to make a cut, but Nasir Adderley hits him there and holds him to no gain on the play. We're down to 42 seconds to go in the 3rd.
So watch what happens here with all of these guys for the Chargers, because you hear the term run fits all the time, meaning where are you supposed to be when a play breaks a certain way? They fit the gaps perfectly on that play when he decided to bounce outside. No one got pulled and pulled too far inside, able to stay outside and make the play. Textbook example.
3rd and goal for Denver. Final seconds of the 3rd. Lock looking to throw for it. Dump off. Catch. Gordon did not get there. Brought down at the 1 as time will expire here in the 3rd. Nick Neiman makes the play defensively. Broncos will have a 4th and goal from the 1 when we come back. We start the 4th quarter here at SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn, rules analyst Gene Steratore. It is 4th and goal from the 1. Saubert shifts to the backfield. Give it to Gordon. Takes it in. Touchdown. Flag down. Penalty marker was simultaneous as Gordon crossed the goal line. And the murmur from this crowd.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 71 was eligible. Report as eligible and was covered up. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So that was the indicator that Denver was going to have to absorb the penalty.
And that might be part of the result of them not being able to practice fully this week. You know, when you put in certain plays, certain situations, having that extra practice time to make sure everybody has all the nuances down comes into play. They had to cancel practice, do a walkthrough, all of that with COVID protocols. Maybe that affected that one with Schlottman in the game.
So not going to try it on 4th and goal from the 6. Instead, the short field goal for Brandon McManus cuts into the Chargers lead. It's now 20-6. LA just underway here in the 4th. Tonight, it's a new year, and that means a new episode of The Equalizer. Queen Latifah returns in the show that critics are calling fresh and reinvigorating. Don't miss The Equalizer tonight on CBS.
Yeah, don't do bad things where Queen Latifah has to come for you.
Has that happened to you? Are you speaking from experience?
I'm not going to confirm or deny. I'm just saying friendly advice.
Well done. Just stay out of it entirely.
Just don't do it.
McManus kicks it off. Roberts will take it out a yard deep in the end zone. Looking to get to the outside. Cuts it upfield. He can fly. Andre Roberts. Oh, it's a race. And Andre Roberts is going to go. Touchdown. Chargers. 101 yards. Playing on his 8th NFL team, Roberts does it again and again. College track at the Citadel. Participated in the Penn relays. So get him out into open space and then let him go to work.
And you saw the blocking. People were blocked up, even a double team late in the run. But his vision, sight, and speed got it done.
Extra point from Dustin Hopkins.
Remember, he was signed before Week 8 against New England by Tom Telesco, the general manager.
Yes.
I asked him about it. He said, we needed a professional return man. They got it, an all-pro.
2012, the last time a Charger had a kick return for a touchdown. And that's always a good feeling when everybody contributes. You get it on offense, you get it on defense, you get it on special teams in such a pivotal game for Los Angeles at 8-7, knowing what they know. Rams defeating Baltimore earlier today. Tennessee beating Miami. So what does that mean? Los Angeles wins today, wins next week. They're in the playoffs. No questions asked.
Everybody always says we want to control our own fate. Now they have that opportunity. And we go back to that Week 8 game with New England, and they signed Andre Roberts and what they put together. Remember what Brandon Staley told us? We've got to get better in special teams because we're killing ourselves field position, offense, and defense. That helps.
The trivia answer, last Charger to do it, Michael Spurlock.
That's strong. Well done, sir.
I have people looking that up. It's not off the top of my head.
You got people?
I got people. I got people.
I got a guy.
And a touchback. Next week, NFL season finale. We are in for plenty of cliffhangers around the league. Teams are jockeying to make their postseason push. Who's in, who's out? We'll get you caught up on all the playoff scenarios beginning Sunday, noon Eastern, the NFL Today. The NFL season finale, it's next week, and it's on CBS. Injured Charger on the play. That was on the potential return. It's Chris Rumpf, the rookie from Duke. So it was a touchback. Rumpf was just making his way downfield. Denver's going to have it at the 25-yard line. Roberts now 3 career kick returns for touchdowns. He's got another 3 on punt returns for touchdowns.
Done it for every team he's played for. Arizona, the Jets, Buffalo, Houston this year, and now here in Los Angeles.
And Rumpf is up.
It's good to see they've got high hopes for that young man. Right now he's really a DPR, designated pass rusher, but they get a little more heft on him, a little more ballast. They think he can be a force off the edge.
Well, special teams have absolutely played a role here today. 47-yard kick return for Roberts. Of course, the 101-yard kick return for a touchdown and a muff punt for Denver.
Deontay Spencer recovered by Keemon Hall.
.40 to play. We're in the 4th quarter.
Let's see if they let Drew Lock freewheel here a little bit. One of the things that attracted people to him coming out of Missouri. Let's see if he can get a little improv going here.
Lock throws it. It's on target to Fant, who's got a first down. Out across the 35-yard line. That covers 11 yards.
As a receiving tight end, there's no reason he shouldn't be among the best in the game year in and year out. He's got everything you're looking for. Came out the same time as Hockenstein, who's with Detroit. 2 at Iowa, both in the first round.
Yeah, T.J. Hockenson is an outstanding tight end in his own right.
But thank you for getting that right for me. Appreciate that. Sorry, TJ. My bad.
Javonte Williams stacked up at the 40-yard line. Adderley and Samuel combined to bring him down. NFL Today update. We are heading to New York. JB, Boomer.
You guys were talking in pregame about that, about Lance. Said he got challenged by his teammates. Like he's answering it. You and Nate.
Okwebunam with a spin move to the outside. Deebo Samuel, by the way, what a weapon.
How many rooms is he visiting during the day to get ready, right? Because he's got the wide receiver room, right? He's going to work out of the slot. He can take some tight end plays as a big slot inside. He'll work out of the running backs room. They just turn and hand it to him or toss it to him now. You name it, he's doing it.
First down for Denver. It's a run for Williams. Crosses into Los Angeles territory to the 49. Michael Davis with a hit. 5-yard gain. Coming up after the game, time permitting. State Farm postgame show. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cower. Scores and highlights all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Denver with a chance to pass the Chargers in the yardage category on this drive. Chargers at 253, Denver at 248. Lock to throw it. Javonte Williams hit along the sideline by Derwin James. It's a gain of 2.
Is Derwin James not the epitome of see ball, hit ball? You know, it's really more see ball, hit person with ball. But you understand my point, and it does really resonate with me that Brandon Staley said about Derwin James, that he's like a quarterback on defense. You know, he has the impact of a quarterback on defense.
And he said if you could make a full team of just Derwin James, you wouldn't have to worry about anything out there on the field.
See you right here, SoFi for the Super Bowl.
3rd and 3. Lock. Bobble and drop. Melvin Gordon. Would have been enough for a first down. Pressure from James as he released it. And now Denver has to go for it on 4th and 3.
Evan told us Brandon Staley said he wanted more pressure on Drew Lock in the second half from his defense. Derwin James provided it running at him, forcing that pass to be incomplete.
So Vic Fangio's team going for it yet again on 4th down. That's been their MO throughout the day early in this game. Drew Lock getting his 2nd straight start for the injured Teddy Bridgewater. Lock throws, incomplete. Tried to hit Fan, it was offline. And they hand it over to LA on downs at the 11:22 mark. Lock upset it himself. The Chargers have the 27-6 advantage. The NFL's Inspire Change initiative focuses on reducing barriers to opportunity and creating progress in education, economic advancement, community and police relations, and criminal justice reform. Text NFL IC to 635-635 to learn more. It takes all of us to advance social justice. First down for Los Angeles. Trying to squeeze through as Eckler brought down at midfield by Andre Mintz. It's a gain of 2.
Pickup of 2 on the ground. That brings up 2nd and 8.
Keenan Allen is walking off the field. Allen heads to the sideline and needs a moment. Athletic training staff goes over to chat with him. Allen now with 100 catches on the season. Fastball from Herbert to Josh Palmer for 5. Short of the first down. Need to get across the 42. Allen now in his 9th year in the NFL. Savvy veteran. 3rd and 3. Herbert Loads it up, separation, catch made, Mike Williams, touchdown, and there's the record for Justin Herbert. The Chargers' single season touchdown pass leader. Mike Williams with the grab, the slide into the end zone, and the Chargers add to their lead. And one to remember for Justin Herbert. 35 touchdowns, the most ever for a Charger quarterback in a single season. Extra point is good. Mike Williams hauls it in, and the Chargers pull it away from the Broncos in the fourth. Happy New Year from all of us here from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Opened in September of 2020, and the Chargers, they've certainly bolted up when needed. They've been the highest scoring fourth quarter team in the NFL this season, Charles. The problem is they've also given up the most points in the fourth quarter.
Is that not good?
That's not good. Justin Herbert, it's number 35. Chargers single season record. You're talking about Phillip Rivers, Dan Fouts, Hall of Fame quarterbacks that Herbert has put himself on top of the mountain with.
And he did it in 16 games. For all the purists out there who I understand, because, you know, we always look for that, what I call the Ford Frick asterisk, right? Okay, people Google that if you need to. But he got it done in 16 games, and now he'll just add to it rest of today and a 17th next week.
And it was just announced to the crowd here. Fans react. Put on the big screen with a new record. Herbert. Lock, bobble, and catch by Fant. Well, what does this all mean for Drew Lock going forward? It's going to be a lot of decisions for new GM George Payton in his first year at the position, previously with Minnesota, Miami, and Chicago. Drew Lock, the coaching staff, Jason La Canfora reporting earlier today on CBS in regards to the future of Vic Fangio, if indeed they made a change, that Fangio would be highly sought after as a defensive coordinator around the league.
Yeah, I saw someone made a statement that if Black Monday happens and he goes then, he would have a job by Friday. I was like, well, that's only if he just waited till Friday. He'd have it by Tuesday.
Yeah, no doubt. Fant with the grab. Kaiser White trying to knock the ball free. Yeah, this Denver team showed promise early in the season. And you just play who's on your schedule.
Yes, because that immediately came up, didn't it?
It did, and rightfully so. The problem really has been within the division. They just have not been able to make any traction in the AFC West. Fangio is 1-10 against the Chiefs and the Raiders in his 3 years at the head coaching position. Gordon with the carry. Gaziano makes the tackle defensively. We're down to 8:45 to go here in the fourth.
And the Chiefs, of course, have ruled that division now. Was it going to be six straight years?
Six straight.
The AFC West. But the Raiders are their biggest rival in terms of what the fans think about, right? You know, I know it's not college football, but in the NFL, you do have those special rivalries. For the Broncos, the Raiders are one of those. So that resonates with your fan base as well.
And the other part, if you look at all the teams ahead of them in the standings, Denver's 1-7 against them this season. And the lone victory came against this LA squad. Broncos enter action at a game under 500, trying to avoid their 5th straight season under 500. A loss here would ensure that. 4-8 after a 3-0 start to the season. Shotgun here, Lock on first down. We are under 8 minutes to play. Michael Boone in there. Lock, deep shot. Nice adjustment there Seth Williams with the grab. The rookie out of Auburn in a matchup with Michael Davis.
Tim Patrick not playing today for the Broncos. If you're a Broncos fan and you haven't had a chance to see Seth Williams after being drafted out of Auburn in the 6th round, because you haven't seen much of him at all this year, you're seeing a Tim Patrick kind of clone. Body type, playability, going up above people to catch the football. That's what he did so well at Auburn, getting his first opportunity here this afternoon.
Yeah, big target, 6'3", 224. Patrick is 6'4", 212. 34-yard reception.
A very similar play style in addition to the body type.
First down from the 11, Locke. Out to the flat, and Williams still gets some traction against Kaiser White with a flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 93. Low hit to the knee area of the quarterback. That penalty is half the distance to the goal, added to the end of the play, automatic. First down.
And it's Justin Jones called on the penalty.
So we've had the flag on Derwin James for the high hit on Drew Lock previously. Now it's the low hit by Justin Jones, number 93. They've got to hit that strike zone of the quarterback right in the middle in order to avoid those flags.
So set it up just short of the 5-yard line. First and goal for Denver. Javonte Williams in the backfield. Locke operates from the gun. Locke throws, end zone, touchdown, Noah Fant. So again, Drew Lock is playing with the idea that he's still trying to make an impression on his teammates, on his coaching staff, on the front office, on ownership. All of it falls under this umbrella for Drew Lock, and why these games are important, why the week of practice was important, getting the reps and being the guy, which he had grown accustomed to obviously throughout his collegiate career, but even in the early days as a pro.
And why it was important for him at all possible to come out of that locker room and play after being hurt.
Yep. Flag is down, thrown on the far side. There was an offside on the play. The extra point was good. So Craig Rolstad will fill us in.
Offside. Defense number 26. The point after touchdown is good. Denver has chosen to take the 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Coming up after the game, State Farm postgame show, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Scores and highlights all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Feels like every single week there has been some form of surprise, some unpredictable result in the NFL. Yeah, some bigger than others, but
you're right.
You think you have a sense of things. All right, well, this is how that'll go. That just has not been the case this season.
You're talking about those surprises where one person says to the other, can you believe X, Y, and Z just happened?
Yeah.
And the person's kind of half paying attention and then, wait, what?
Yeah, can you believe a player took his uniform off during the game and elected to leave the stadium? Can you believe that? Yeah, that
actually, because it's Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
yes.
it happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I can believe that, which is unfortunate that it's not more of a surprise.
And the Buccaneers have come out and said, that's it. Sayonara.
Finally hit their limit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon McManus. He's going to kick it off. Chargers were prepared just in case he wanted to try an onside kick. Week 17 in the NFL penultimate week. Still have games next week. Some of the headlines in the early games. How about the Bengals roaring back against the Chiefs? They win the AFC North. Buffalo Bills had to rally to do it, but they punched their ticket to the playoffs. And the Tennessee Titans clinched the AFC South, and because of the Chiefs' loss, they're now the 1 seed. The Raiders beat the Colts in a thriller. Looked like Indy was the team you wanted to stay away from, and Las Vegas cools off the Colts. Justin Jackson carries to the 30. So Tennessee currently the top seed. Kansas City 11-5. Cincinnati 10-6, along with Buffalo. New England dominant win over Jacksonville to improve to 10-6. So they are in the postseason, and That's where it gets really interesting. Las Vegas, Indianapolis, the Chargers. Miami a loss. Baltimore a loss. Pittsburgh still to play. Denver enters action at 7 and 8. So that Raiders-Chargers game could be huge next week.
That could be whoever wins goes in.
Yes. Second down and 5. Herbert flips it. Steven Anderson bouncing to the outside. He's got a first down. Anderson was a wide receiver at Cal and showed off some of those moves out on the perimeter.
So versatile piece for Joe Lombardi as the offensive coordinator and play caller, because you can use him at tight end. You can use him as a lead fullback. You can flex him out as kind of a big slot type of a player. Does a lot of the dirty work. It gets rewarded every now and then with a pass. And I wouldn't doubt it in the playbook. They've got to run for him. They just haven't had to show it so far.
First down. On the ground, Justin Jackson to the 44-yard line for LA. Micah Kaiser with the tackle. So many different Denver defensive players throughout the season. You know, when you do play-by-play and analyst work, you construct these boards in preparation, and they're full. If you're doing the Denver Broncos, every possible area is taken with notes and color coding and a new guy and background.
And how hard were you trying not to start over? Because there were so many. They were like, can I fit this one in here?
100%.
Right? Because I've got it already. I don't want to start over and begin again.
Stutter step from Jackson's going to come up just short. Needed 4. Will be 3rd and short. Jonathan Harris, one of those new faces in on the stop for Denver. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, this up and down season looked really good early. Caught the attention of a lot of people around the NFL, but little funk. Last 10 games, 4 and 6. They just couldn't string wins together.
And then Houston.
Yeah.
Houston happened, and I realized what was going on last week, but Houston was just as hard, if not harder, with COVID issues. That's a game you absolutely have to win.
3rd and 1, enough for Jackson. Crosses into Denver territory for 4 yards. Clock continues to roll with 3:18 and counting left in this 4th quarter. Denver will be home for Kansas City to wrap up the season next week. The Chargers, of course, in Las Vegas, in what could be a win and in scenario for both teams.
And you know, late in the season, Kansas City often is resting people for that last game, Ian. But I think playing for that #1 seed is still out there for them. So Denver's not going to get a break on this one.
Under 3 minutes to play. Jackson hit from the side and goes down after a short gain of 1. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a 1-hour special about World War II heroism, followed by all new episodes of The Equalizer, NCIS Los Angeles, and SWAT. Tonight on CBS. 2:18 to play. There's a 1-second difference where the Chargers could have allowed this to go to the 2-minute warning. So they snap it and run it. Jackson looking to get to the outside. And he's chopped down just short of the 45-yard line by Griffith and Kaiser. We have the 2-minute warning in Los Angeles. The Chargers in control against Denver. 34-13. Back here at SoFi, final 2 minutes. Chargers knew exactly what they were dealing with as they took the field. Some other things happened earlier in the day that allowed them to have the knowledge that if they keep winning, they're going to get into the postseason. Catch made by McKitty. So pretty simple now for First-year head coach Brandon Staley and the Chargers. They will clinch a postseason spot with a victory next week at Las Vegas.
Just tells you about an NFL season, right? All the ups and downs, the disappointments along the way. But in this season, in 2021, if you just stayed the course, you were in it.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity. And as you noted, it broke right for them. And I know coaches say we don't watch the scoreboard. I love how you put it. They knew exactly what they were dealing with today.
And you should know, by the way.
It's human nature. You're supposed to know what you're going to do, what you're getting into.
So the Chargers improved to 9-7 on the season. They now put themselves in that wild card column with that matchup against Las Vegas next week. Raiders in the hunt, Steelers still in the hunt, and still a lot to be determined in terms of seeding and matchups for the playoffs. I think about Philadelphia in the NFC and their season. We were with them a couple of times.
And boy, when we went into there that last time, the whole city thought, okay, this has no shot.
Yeah, lost season.
We're done here. Wrong.
The Los Angeles Chargers in a position to make the playoffs if they can get it done next week in Las Vegas. Brandon Staley shared a moment with Vic Fangio, one of his mentors. The rookie head coach has put his team in a position to make the playoffs. They're 9-7. A 34-13 win over Denver at home. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by all new episodes of The Equalizer, NCIS Los Angeles, and SWAT. For Charles Davis, Evan Washburn, Gene Steratore, the rest of our CBS crew, Ian Eagle saying so long from Inglewood, California. Chargers win at 34-13 over the Denver Broncos. Happy New Year, everybody. You're watching the NFL on CBS.